Welcome to AWANI Review with me, Cynthia Ng. Joining me today, my guest, he is at the forefront of transforming Hong Kong into a technological powerhouse. Please welcome Mr. Albert Wong. He is the CEO of Hong Kong Science Tech Park, here to talk about an initiative that he's just started with Kuala Lumpur. So let's start with that. Albert, talk to us about why you're here in the city.
Yeah, well, we're here for a number of things. One of them is to bring our technology startup companies to explore businesses and talents in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, and this part of the world. That's one of the main topics. And also at the same time, we're also talking to potential companies in Malaysia and help them explore businesses in Hong Kong and China. So it's a two-way street. But one of the big things we want to do here is to see if we can get some good technology talents and help them develop their career in Hong Kong and China, outside of your home country.
Talk to us, what sort of talents are you looking for in Malaysia in particular?
Okay, so first of all, let me talk a little bit about background of what we're doing in Hong Kong in terms of technology and innovation. Hong Kong, as a part of the national strategy, is to become the international innovation technology hub. Although most people may not think of Hong Kong, may think of Hong Kong as the financial hub, logistics, tourism, retail, but Hong Kong in the past 5-6 years have put a lot of resources into growing innovation technologies. In the Science and Technology Park ourselves, in the past 3-4 years, we have grown our number of technology companies by, I would say, more than 10% per year. Right now in the Science Park itself, we have 1,400 companies, 19,000 people working in a small space of only about 22 hectares. Of the 19,000, about 13,000 of them are research and development. So we are a big concentration of R&D people. However, at any one time, we would be hiring at least 1,000. We have at least 1,000 opening for R&D people. Not for the science park itself, but the companies that over there. At any one time, I can assure you, we have at least 1,000 jobs, sometimes 2,000. All of them relates to research and development in the areas of biomedical, semiconductor, coding, AI, data, new energy, green, fintech, all these areas. So we are looking for talents who want to explore a career in research and development. And Hong Kong is a gateway into China. Hong Kong itself is not a big market, but if you go across the border from Hong Kong into Shenzhen, all of a sudden you're looking at a Greater Bay Area of 87 million population, $1.7 trillion GDP. And then we are also opportunity to explore the businesses in mainland China, which is 1.4 billion. So we think that we have a lot of opportunity for the young and bright research and development youngsters in Malaysia or anywhere in the world to explore a career in Hong Kong.
Well, thanks for that introduction to the Hong Kong Science Tech Park. So talk to us then about what sort of areas of collaboration are you looking at, in particular for Malaysia, and the talent that you're seeking out?
Yeah, I think it is a two-way street. One of them is that we want to help the companies, technology companies in Hong Kong and China to explore businesses in Southeast Asia. And I think Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur is a very good gateway to the rest of ASEAN countries. To Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, all these areas. I think this is a good gateway. For example, this time together with us is park companies like Lala Move, SenseTime, Aerosim. These are all fast-growing technology companies in different areas. They all want to set up something in Southeast Asia, and Malaysia is a stop for them. So this is one of the things is to bring businesses here and set up in Malaysia to explore the Southeast Asian market. At the same time, they're looking for hiring people working in Malaysia or even bringing them back to Hong Kong. So that's one way. The other thing we're looking for collaboration is to help tech companies in Malaysia to explore businesses in mainland China. Doing business in China is not the same as doing business in Southeast Asia. I think we have some experience in that. We're actually also setting up a new branch in Shenzhen, just across the border, to help technology companies to explore businesses in Shenzhen, Greater Bay Area, and mainland China.
Most of the major cities in Asia are looking to be the next Silicon Valley of Asia. You know, Malaysia wants to be, Singapore is somewhat there, Hong Kong wants to be as well. So if you can talk to me about what is the unique selling point of Hong Kong and all your science tech park, in a sense, like why choose Hong Kong over the other countries?
Yeah, I think every city is different, and What we present as Hong Kong is that we are a gateway for China, in and out of China. Again, I keep saying that Hong Kong itself is not the market. Hong Kong is the spark of innovation and technology. We have 5 universities in Hong Kong that are ranked top 100. 4 of them ranked top 50. There's a lot of concentration of basic research, professors, scientists in Hong Kong. If you're doing deep tech research like biomedical, therapeutics, diagnostics, medical device, if you're doing data, AI, semiconductor, there's a lot of support in Hong Kong to go to basic research. However, what we need to do better is in the areas of commercialization, product management, or even investment. So the opportunity that we present in Hong Kong is that we have the support of the basic research, and also with the market that is next door. And we also have the financial, Hong Kong is a financial market. When you talk about technology, it's not just technology, but investment. We are not talking about just research, we're talking about research and development. When we talk about development, it means commercialization. I'll be very straightforward, it's all about businesses, not just lab stuff. Lab stuff, the research is important, but we want to help them find a home for businesses. So what we do here is that we bring the basic research, the talent from all over the world, explore the market in China, explore the market in Southeast Asia. So the opportunity that presented in Hong Kong is the basic research, the gateway to China, gateway to Southeast Asia, financial market, and attracting talents from all over the world.
Okay. You said earlier that Hong Kong is known as a financial hub, but in terms of a sense of entrepreneurship of the startup ecosystem may have been lagging in the past. Do you think the perception has changed over the past couple of years?
We're working hard to change that. It's not something that you can change overnight. I am a local Hong Kong born educated person. I did not really work in Hong Kong in my life until recently. Because there wasn't, in the past, we did not really embrace technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship until, I would say, past 7, 8 years. Hong Kong government, central government has put a lot of resources and emphasis into it. The ecosystem is developing. I don't think we can change a perception just like that, and that is why we're going around to talk to people. And I think it is improving. We're not quite there yet. I would say that, I'll be very honest, we have a good ecosystem now. We have probably altogether a few thousand technology companies in Hong Kong, but I believe that we need to grow exponentially, like into 10,000, 20,000. Number of people doing research and development in Hong Kong is probably in the range of 30 to 40,000. We need to expand that to 100,000, 200,000. So to answer questions, we have made a lot of progress in the past 4, 5, 6 years, but we have to do a lot more.
Okay. Well, you have a big task ahead. I think you started in 2016 as the CEO of the Hong Kong Science Tech Park. And I understand when you started, at one point, a lot of the buildings were just sitting empty. And because you emphasized that any companies that come in must have at least, 30% of their team doing R&D. Why was that so important to you? And do you see that you are the outcome of having that very strict requirement to have more R&D? Yeah,
that was actually pretty painful at that time because occupancy was quite low, 50 to 60%. So less than half of them of the building was empty, and we have to implement the mandate that at least 50% of the company renting a space in Science Park has to be doing R&D, and it was very difficult for 1 or 2 years. But when we started doing that and really prune out those that are not doing research and development, those doing just sales or even setting up an office there, over time, it becomes a competitive edge. People want to come in because it is a stamp of approval, not approval, but recognition that if you have an address in Science Park, you are genuinely doing R&D. So we went through a painful process, and also, who are we to say that you're a technology company or R&D? So in the past few years, we hired a lot of subject matter experts to really look at the companies, and then not just looking at the company, but being account managers. So I have a team of probably 50, 60 people looking after these 1,400 companies. A lot of them are experienced people, PhD in biomedical. I have probably 25 PhD working for us. So they will be helping this company grow, finding commercialization angles. And right now, I can proudly tell you that right now our occupancy is more than 90%.
And you're looking to expand exponentially.
We have to expand exponentially. We have to find space for that. The government has plans for that. And
why is it so important to have more startups, more R&D happening in one space? And what's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, a number of things. The word ecosystem, right? For example, we have Lala Move with us. It's a big company. It's a $15 billion US dollar worth company. And then we have a very small company here doing aviation stuff. And that melting pot, that interaction between the big company, small company is very important. At the same time, we also provide a lot of communal facilities, including semiconductor, 5G, data, AI, so that people can work together and even change jobs within the science park. That's the ecosystem that we want to build, so that they can build up the future of the whole thing.
So your role is not just that of a landlord, but a curator of an ecosystem. Can you talk to us about the meticulous process of handpicking the right companies to be in the park?
Now, this is very important. We cannot, well, okay, so a couple of things. We are not there to say that this company is going to be successful. We can just tell them that, or a certain technology will be successful.
Okay.
Our job is to build a platform so that when the technology or the future happens, we are there. For example, I'm not going to say, oh, you're going to go AI. You have to go a semiconductor, a third generation semiconductor. But our job is to create a platform that whoever having a convincing technology, a convincing business plan will help them. Because a lot of the startup fail. I'll say 60–70% of startup fails. But if you do not give them a platform to try, they wouldn't prosper. Okay. So our job is to encourage more so that they can try, they can test, and the future thing will happen. For example, one of the startups here was founded by a number of pilots. And when he came to me 5 years ago and said they want to start a company with a number of pilots, I say, what are you doing? You're doing making flight simulator? They said, yeah, but now he's expanding into partnering with big aviation companies and now doing business in everywhere in the world. So my job is not so much about picking which one is a winner, but encouraging them to do more.
To look at the breakdown of companies by industries at the Hong Kong Science Tech Park, biotech, biomedical made up the largest portion. I wonder, is that intentional or is just somehow happened?
There's certain intention and strategic direction to that. Actually, the number of biotech companies is not the largest. The largest number of companies is actually ICT related, but ICT is a broad term. Biotech company grow the fastest in the past 3–4 years. Right. I think a number of reasons. One of them is because we have very strong medical school, very strong research basis. You cannot do biomedical research and development unless you have strong basic research. You cannot just say, I've developed a new drug out of the blues. So the support, but for the thing I was talking about, the basic research is very important. And we have the universities to support that. That's one reason. The other reason is that although biotech is deep tech, most of the professors or even medical doctor wouldn't start their own company because it's risky. They have comfortable jobs, but with the support from the ecosystem and the whole environment being developed, a lot of these medical doctor or professors, they would venture into starting company. So a number of things are fueling this kind of growth, but I would say 200 biotech companies is not a lot. Okay. We need to make it into thousands.
What is the target here? What would be success to you?
I would say success is two things, okay? I often use the analogy of sports. I need a lot of people running around. I need a lot of people doing Tai Chi on the street. I need people doing basketball on the street. That's the public mission, encouraging more startup, more participation. But I need to pick the Olympic players out of them, and maybe even Olympic champions. But I wouldn't be able to find the Olympic players unless I have a big pool of people running or doing Tai Chi or other things. So success is two sides. One would be a lot of startup entrepreneurs in Hong Kong, in Science Park, but also some winners like SenseTime coming out of Science Park, Lala Move coming out of Science Park, and these success cases. So the success is that in general, people will be playing more in this field. more players, more runners on the street, but also some winners, some Olympic champions.
Well, you already had a couple of winners. ScienceTime is one major AI company. But I do want to talk about the pool of people in the game, because Hong Kong, as we know, have been grappling with a significant emigration wave and also skilled talents leaving in the past couple of years. How do you anticipate this exodus impacting Hong Kong's vision, your vision?
There are some movement of people. There's always movement of people. The turnover of talent in Hong Kong has been quite high. I think in general everywhere in the world. And I think all we need to do would be just to keep training the youngsters, giving them more opportunities. And that is why we're doing a lot of things in terms of like internship, getting the youngsters to be interested in a technology career, with R&D career, and also providing them with even training opportunity. Sometimes providing them with funding to train more people. And we're also doing a lot of education work in the youngsters in Hong Kong that, hey, you got a good career. And I go around with the schools and universities to tell them that the jobs are available all the time. That's one way. Equally important, the local talent is important. Equally important is that we have to make Hong Kong the hub of talent from all over the world. And that is one of the reasons why we're here.
You're here today.
Okay.
So we have a lot of Malaysian audience listening to this, and they're wondering, okay, this sounds really great, and I want to get in touch. I have a great idea, great tech. What sort of talents are you looking for, and what kind of industries particularly, if you can share?
I think the hottest jobs right now all over the world, and in China, in Hong Kong also, is that if you're doing biomedical research and development, including genomics, NGS, CAR-T, stem cell, those who knows will understand what I say, all right? Anything related to drug discovery, diagnostic method, medical device, that will be very much welcome. If you are in any one of these areas, genomics, we're actually doing a lot of sequencing, that kind of things. And that's one big area, from diagnostic to therapeutics to medical device, and even Chinese medicine. So that's one big area about medical research and development. But one of the things I talk about is that I talked with one of the fastest growing biotech companies genomic companies in Hong Kong, and asked him, what kind of talents do you need? He said, we need talents in R&D. I said, is that biotech talents? Yes, but I also need a lot of data talents. So the convergence of data, AI into other areas is so pervasive. So if you are in the area of data analytics, AI, you'll be needed everywhere in the world. That's another area, AI, data related kind of knowledge, R&D, research and development. And then the other one would be semiconductor, IC design, system design, or packaging, this kind of things. The other area would be, a huge area in general would be what I call the product management. And by product management, I'm sure people who listen to this will understand, is that we have a lot of scientists, and scientists will hide in the lab and invent something. And when they invent something, they say, the world will need my products. The world doesn't work that way. The way we do in business is that we find out what the world needs and develop the things for them. So product management is those people who bridge between the scientific discovery with the world, with the needs of the world. So product management in general is a very much needed skills. And
is it hard to find talent?
You mean product management, or those things? Everything, all of the above. It is not easy. Every one of these are in hot pursuit, and I can say that the pay is pretty good in general, because R&D is a hot kind of career right now everywhere in the world. Biomedical, AI, data, semiconductor. This is needed all over the world. It's not easy to find talents.
Well, Hong Kong is renowned globally, as a financial hub. It has the prestige, but it also holds the title as one of the most expensive cities in the world. Cost of living is very high. So I wonder if that has posed challenges in attracting talent and new growth companies, startups looking to, starting from the bottom. You said there's a lot of risk. So what kind of support is there to attract these these new companies?
Honestly, living is a challenge for most people, even ourselves, our people in Hong Kong. But we actually in Science Park ourselves, we have built a InnoCell, a residential building. The rent is discounted from market price. So we have support in that area for residential, for anyone coming from overseas or even for local people. If that InnoCell is filled up, we will provide support to ease your residence in Hong Kong.
Like housing subsidies?
Something like that. Something like that. I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't give you the detail. It really depends on the person. But we understand it's a challenge, and we will help with whoever wants to come to Hong Kong. Okay. And we'll help you with the visa application, everything. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds very fascinating. Just a couple final questions. I do want to talk about artificial intelligence, for instance, ChatGPT is all the rage right now. I do wonder, what's your thought about this, and is the Science Park doing something in that area?
ChatGPT, generative AI in general, is everywhere. It could be scary. It is actually pretty scary. It is important. It is happening. It's growing very fast. We had a pretty large seminar with one of the providers, big providers, last week. We're going to do another one. We have hundreds of participants, and like I said, what we do is to provide a platform, let people know what is going on, and let them choose what is the right thing to do. But to answer your question, I really believe that AI or generative AI, you cannot stop it. Things are going to happen. I think the world will become different, and we need to deal with it. I don't think we can resist it. It's new technology.
Do you think there should be some sort of regulation around it? Because I'm not sure if you heard that EU is thinking about coming up a common set of standards in regulating it.
Yeah, I personally, this does not represent Hong Kong or anyone. I really believe that a certain regulation on AI, generative AI, would be important. Otherwise, it's going to go. If you look at GPT-3 and GPT-4, GPT-4 is really, really powerful. And if you imagine 5, it will be really powerful. So I believe some sort of regulation would be needed. In general, China is doing some AI regulation already. I think it makes sense to do that. But I think we need the wisdom of some regulators to come up with something that is useful, but also would not choke the innovation.
Is this the kind of conversation that you're having at the Science Park?
I personally would have discussions like this with the park companies, but not so much about worry, but really about potential applications. What are you going to do with it, and how are you going to leverage the latest technology to do better, rather than sitting there worrying the sky may fall. But just instead of just worrying, get going.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Albert. Appreciate you just spending some time to talk to me about what you're doing with Hong Kong Science Tech Park. Thank you so much, and best of luck with your initiative here in Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you.
Thank you.